MiTunes guest all this week, Scott Philbey, as I mentioned yesterday, until recently had Philbey's restaurant in Peel next to the creek. There's an invoice in the post for the free plug for you, Scott. You're welcome. So you came to Douglas, and that was about how many years ago did you say yesterday?
It must be 23 years ago, 23, 24 years ago now.
Okay,
yeah.
So there's a big gap between what happened in Douglas and what happened in Peel. When you came to Douglas, how did you get on with the Isle of Man mentality and the way of life? Because it must have been hugely different to where you'd been before.
It was a lot more laid back, I suppose. Very, very friendly. Coming from the hustle and bustle of Bournemouth, it's quite a crazy town. Douglas was it was busy, and plenty of people around. And
it was in those days.
It was. I just found the whole island, as it is, still is now, really nice and laid back, and everyone was so friendly. You could speak to anybody and have a conversation, and there was no aggression around or anything like that. It was just, I felt comfortable here the moment I arrived, really.
Did you go through that 5-year itch that I hear, and I certainly did, to be fair, and I've been here, 25 years, about as long as you have, that, you either love it or you hate it after about 5 years, and people who hate it will go and never come back, and people who love it will stay forever.
We did go off after, about 3 years, we went off, my wife. She got a bit of itchy feet and was like, island life, I need to do something. So we went off just 6 months travelling for a little bit. But I missed it a lot, and when it was time to come back, she thought about going back to Bournemouth. And I was like, no, we're going back to the Isle of Man, and that was it. we came back. It's the only decision I've ever won, I think. But we came back to the Isle of Man.
But at this point, I ought to say, what's your wife's name?
Adele.
Okay, so you won the battle with Adele on that occasion. Is that the only battle you've ever won, or have you won any more?
I think that's the only one. That's it. No, none others.
We were talking. You're talking about Douglas in those days. We had lots of night spots open, lots of nightclubs. Most of those are gone now, which I think is a real shame. We had lots of little clubs underneath hotels as well. Imps, Champs, Jefferson's, the Barbary Coast, which everybody used to do on a Friday and Saturday night before they went to Paramount City and everything.
Strand 58, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right.
That was always very busy. Colours was the main place.
Colours.
Yeah. And what were the ones next to the Castle Mona? We had the office there on the side, and then
you had the bowling alley there, didn't you?
And what's it? Breeze and Chill.
That's right.
Studebakers.
That's right. Oh, I'd forgotten that one. Yeah,
that was the one. 2 for 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 for 1. And
lose your shoes on the sticky floor.
That's it. Pound a drink night at Toffs on a Thursday night. Yeah, all that. Yeah. So, what you mentioned the Glen Helen there. So, where does that come into your story?
Glen Helen came into after we came back from the travelling, and we had. The general manager I worked for in the Sleepwell group, he had moved to the Castle Mona, and he was down there and heard that we were coming back, and they were looking to open a bar on the side, which was the American Cafe, I think.
That's right. I remember that.
I can't remember what it was called.
I remember that. Just at the back of the car park, there was an American diner there, wasn't there? That's right. Yeah.
And they were looking to refurb that, and where we'd done the Old Bailey. Me and Adele in the basement of the Chester House Hotel there with the same people. They wanted to know if we wanted to get involved in this project. So, again, something different. So we said yeah. And we did that for about 2.5 years, which was great fun. Live bands and stuff. And you probably went in for a couple of Coca-Colas.
Yeah.
And, it was a great time. A lot of people again there, fantastic musicians.
You should open a big venue with a big sound stage, bring in some bands, local bands, and do it properly, and also get some bands from across.
If I was to do a bar again, it would definitely be something in Peel if they'd let me in. I like a live music bar. Not saying I will, but if
Well, hang on a minute. You've just got out of it. What do you want to get back into it for?
I'd get bored, Chris. I think.
Yeah. All right. Second choice then. Great song yesterday. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've chosen for today.
Today's song is all about the wife.
Is that because you have to, or you feel you have to?
I feel like I've got 5.
You've got to mention it.
I've got one. We were sat in Menorca on that travelling period I was talking about before, actually.
Yeah.
Sat on the volcanic rock with a bottle of JD, and the sun was coming down, and this lovely little bar, and this song came on the radio, and we both decided that would be the wedding song. And that song is Norah Jones, Come Away With Me.
So was that the first dance at your wedding?
It was. She walked down the aisle.
Oh, okay.
To me, stood there like a wally.
And what year? And what year was that?
That was 2004.
Wow. And so far so good.
So far, so good. I'm hanging in there.